One day after jurors hearing the case against Rust armorer Hannah Gutierrez were played behind-the-scene video, new witnesses described the frantic moments that followed the movie's cinematographer being fatally shot. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has more on the courtroom testimony. It was powerful, Jacqueline. Good morning.
Yes, Janae, good morning to you. After 7 days of trial so far, we've now heard directly from director Joel Souza, who was also shot on set. Witnesses describing a chaotic environment as the jury contemplates who is responsible.
It felt like somebody had taken a baseball bat to my shoulder.
Rust director Joel Souza taking the stand in the criminal trial of movie armorer Hannah Gutierrez Friday, recalling the moment he and cinematographer Helena Hutchins were shot on the film set.
I just kept saying, you don't understand. No, this was a movie set. That's not possible. It's just not possible that there's a live round.
Hutchins was killed after a revolver held by actor Alec Baldwin fired a live round as he was rehearsing inside this New Mexico church back in October of 2021. Gutierrez now facing involuntary manslaughter and evidence tampering charges, pleading not guilty. And this week, new images presented in court allegedly showing Alec Baldwin using a gun on the set of Rust incorrectly, according to a firearm expert who took the stand for the prosecution. Baldwin has previously stated he would never point a gun at anyone and pull the trigger. Set medic Cheryl Lynn Schaefer holding back tears, describing the moment she arrived on scene.
Because of the way that Joel was screaming in pain, I knew he had likely, whatever had gone through her had gone into him as well.
Multiple witnesses testifying Gutierrez worked differently than what they were used to on other sets.
Guns do not just go off on a film set.
The defense arguing production did not have enough safety protocols in place and that multiple people were responsible for monitoring the firearms on set.
Did you know on this movie set that the armorer sometimes had to be in or near the scene when firearms were being used?
Yes.
It would be impossible for the armorer to be at her cart too, right?
No, I've never heard of that before.
Kind of hard to be in two places at one time, isn't it? That's kind of the point.
And actor Alec Baldwin is charged with involuntary manslaughter. He has pled not guilty. His trial is scheduled for July. Guys.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you.
Some Florida towns are looking to break up with spring break after last year saw hundreds of felony arrests. The police chief for Miami Beach laying out new rules like higher parking rates, security checkpoints, and even closing beaches early. Miami Beach Police Department Public Information Officer Christopher Bess is joining us now. Officer, thanks for being with us this weekend. Tell me, as you prepare for spring break, what are you preparing for in Miami Beach?
Good morning, Will. Thanks for having us. So, as you stated, we are breaking up with spring break. The police department and also our other city entities have come up with a comprehensive plan to address the concerns. When you think of Miami Beach, you think of tourism, you think of our impact on the local economy, but what a lot of people neglect are our residents who have made it very clear. They're tired of the nonsense. They're tired of the unlawfulness. So we are ensuring that our plan not only address their concerns, but ensure the safety throughout our city.
But give me an example of the type of crime that's become all too common in Miami Beach during spring break.
So a lot of people come to our city and automatically think that it's a party town. So in the past, we have seen shootings, we have seen reckless driving, we have seen people abusing the open container ordinance and state statute. And though in the past we have enforced crime, we have enforced our laws, and throughout the shootings, we have apprehended the offenders within minutes. This year is going to be very different. We are going to try to prevent as much as possible through the comprehensive plan.
So I guess what I'm confused about, Officer Bess, is I think in most people's minds, spring break has come to represent a break from school, whether or not that's high school or college. And the popular conception of spring break is college kids partying too much in South Padre Island or Lake Havasu or whatever it may be. But you're describing shootings. So you're describing something very different. than what we might have in our minds about spring break. So is this something very different for Miami Beach than college kids partying too much in Miami Beach?
Absolutely. So just like anything, I do think you have your individuals who take advantage, right? So for the majority of the consensus, we do have people who come to our city just to enjoy all that our city offers. But you do have a minority of people who take advantage of that. And because of that, we're breaking up at spring break. Our elected body and city administration has worked diligently to ensure that the message is out there, to ensure that we are enforcing not only state statutes, but local ordinances, and enough is enough.
Yeah. All right, Officer Christopher Bess, the word is out from Miami Beach. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Welcome back, everybody. We got some breaking news out west. California's Sierra Nevada is buried under a rare, relentless blizzard with 10 to 12 feet. Yes, feet expected in some mountain areas. 500,000 people under blizzard warnings, visibility near zero, causing 100 miles of highway near the Nevada state line to close due to poor conditions. And the Weather Service is a warning of avalanche dangers through tomorrow afternoon. NBC's Steve Patterson is on the ground for us in Truckee, California. This is not, by the way, Steve, going to be a quick storm. People are really hunkering down there for the long haul.
Yeah, and they really have to, Yasmin. The thing about this storm is that it is relentless. The most harrowing part about all of this is not necessarily everything you just listed, although all of that is a problem. It's not necessarily the temperatures or the speed or even the totals. It's the stamina. It's the fact that if you wipe off your car, no matter how long you go into your house, there's going to be fresh snow. It is just nonstop. We're hearing now that there are places where it is 3 to 5 inches every hour since this storm started, and there's really no signs of it slowing down. Here's what we found. Take a look.
This morning, relentless waves of wind-whipped snow pounding the California Sierras. The National Weather Service issuing a rare blizzard warning for the region with life-threatening blankets of blinding whiteouts on the roads. Major interstates already shutting down after accidents like this big rig flip near Truckee.
Cars and trucks stranded on Interstate 80 with 100 miles of road closed by the California Highway Patrol.
If you don't have to travel, do not. Skiing, snowboarding, sledding is not that important. Your lives are way more important, and we want you to be safe on the road.
Areas from Yosemite to Lake Tahoe can see anywhere from 5 to 10 feet of snow, with more than 12 feet of snow, gusting at over 100 miles per hour in the mountains.
It's just going to be the storm of the winter so far, so we're just going to hunker down.
There's no fun for anybody. You can't sleigh ride, you can't ski.
Several ski resorts now shutting down lifts. Yosemite National Park closed until at least Sunday. Local residents preparing to be snowed in for days.
Ice melt, generators, lanterns, flashlights, batteries, anything that you can think of that somebody would need for a power outage or a severe storm, and they are coming in for it.
At its worst, officials warn of 2 to 4 inches of snow every hour for days.
This one is a 96-hour cycle, so it's really going to affect us in the next 24 to 48 hours.
This morning, an entire region bracing for impact.
And I just got off the phone with an official from the Transportation Department. I can tell you that Interstate 80, which is that major artery in the mountain region, is still mostly shut down, about 100 miles from here all the way to the Sierras. And locally, crews are racing. We see them with big plows trying to keep up with the snow. The problem is it just keeps coming.
Wow,
Yasmin.
That is a lot of snow. Steve Patterson for us. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. All right, we're following this breaking news. U.S. military planes today making the first airdrop of humanitarian aid into Gaza as famine looms amongst the population. The emergency aid is coming as questions loom over the killing of over 100 Palestinians at an aid convoy in Gaza City on Thursday, where Israeli forces are accused of opening fire on a crowd hoping to get food. I want to bring in NBC's Matt Bradley, who's in London for us, the very latest on this. Matt, if you can, what do you know about this first round of drops?
Yeah, Yasmin. Well, the U.S. officials have said that this was done in cooperation with the Jordanians, and they've been conducting their own aid drops in Gaza ever since early November. So according to U.S. Central Command, it was 3 transport planes. They delivered 38,000 meals. And now, these are much needed supplies, Yasmin. The Gaza Strip has already been suffering from what aid agencies are calling famine. We saw incredible desperation among Palestinians that many international organizations contributed to the stampede and Israeli mass shooting in Gaza 2 days ago that you just mentioned. And, the death toll for that incident, it's now risen again today to 118. So it is still the single most lethal incident against civilians since Israel's invasion of Gaza began. And now aid agencies have also been saying that this American aid drop isn't enough. And some have even warned that relying on aid drops, which the aid community considers to be expensive and inefficient and normally just used as a last resort, that it may become a distraction to what they say should be the real diplomatic goal, which is getting Israel and Egypt to stop their siege on Gaza and lift their blockade and let in much larger amounts of aid. So President Biden said yesterday that more aid is on the way. Here's what he told reporters.
The truth is, aid flowing to Gaza is nowhere nearly enough. Now, it's nowhere nearly enough. Innocent lives are on the line and children's lives are on the line. And we won't stand by and let until we get more aid in there. We should be getting hundreds of trucks in, not just several.
And Yasmin, Israel's limits on food aid, they're becoming a worsening problem in Gaza. The UN hasn't been able to get aid into northern Gaza for more than a week.